The first song I finished writing was called Purple Breeze, and it was so angsty. It was like, your life's like an hourglass, silent but slipping away. Hi, I'm Lucy Dacus, and these are my firsts for Enemy. The first CD I ever bought was American Idiot by Green Day, and it was subsequently broken in half and thrown away by my parents because of all the dirty curse words. They let me buy it in Target, and I think that they just didn't realize that it was a nasty thing. But there's a soft spot in my heart for that record today. First tattoo I ever got is this little guy. I got it with Phoebe and Julian. We wanted to get them on our fingers, but the tattoo artist was like, that's gonna be too little, it's gonna fade. But yeah, it's kind of like a bite the hand type of reference. I was such a baby too, because each of them have had tattoos. Julian's like covered in tattoos. And I was like, let me go in the middle because I don't want to go first or last. Like, I'll chicken out. But it was totally fine, and I've gotten more since. The first job I ever had, technically, my dad's a graphic designer, and so he like works with photographers a lot. And so there was this photographer that was like, hey, we have this job for this billboard that's going to be in Iowa that is advertising being a foster parent, and we need like a really sad looking kid to be on the billboard. And so I did like a photo shoot, and I like came in like, I'm a model, like I was probably carrying a little bag like this, and I was probably like 8 or something, and they just had me sit in a chair and were like, okay, now close your eyes more, open your eyes more, like look more sad, look a little more excited. Like for 3 hours they just made me do like micro expressions. You know, this is the first time I've thought maybe it took 3 hours because like I just wasn't good at it. But yeah, they paid me like $800, which lasted me like 5 years because I was a child. I wish I could go find it. I do look sad. I don't know if it convinced anybody to be a foster parent, but that'd be cool. Check it out. The first band I was in was called The Moors, and they were a band before me. They were a trio. But then they were friends, and they could hear that I could sing, and they were like, why don't you come on stage and sing like Just Like Heaven by The Cure, or like just different covers and then originals. And then they officially proposed to me to be in the band. But then after like a couple months of being in the band, they unceremoniously just started having band practices without me. And so I was kicked out of the band. But those people are the guys that I record with still. Like, they have the studio set up and they engineer for me, and I never ever let them forget it. I even put it in like the liner notes of home video. I was like, you kicked me out of our band and I'll never forgive you. So I get to hold that over them. First ever gig I went to, I'm gonna not count church, and I'm gonna not count musical theater. I think the first gig I went to, like, without my parents was Jack's Mannequin opening for The Fray at Virginia Beach. And I'm pretty sure that our parents were, like, in the parking lot, because I went with other friends and we were probably, like, 12 or 13. But yeah, I remember, like, planning for that concert so much. Like, we all bought, like, beanies and, like, those gloves that like fingerless gloves that are like striped, and yeah, it was a whole ordeal. I love The Fray, but I like really loved Jack's Mannequin, and recently went back and listened to like Bruised and a couple of their hits, and it was really fun. Richmond is known for festivals, but it's like the Strawberry Festival, the Watermelon Festival, and I know that this means music festival. So I think it was Lollapalooza in 2012. And again, like, no, I don't know why my parents let me do this. There was a lot of heinous things that went on. But yeah, it was, I forget who was playing that year. I know the Black Keys were playing. I know Childish Gambino played. Mumford and Sons played. I think Leon LaHavas maybe played. That might have been the next year. But yeah, that was a turning point in terms of feeling like a person that wasn't just somebody's kid. I'm pretty sure the first festival I performed at was also Lollapalooza, but in 2016. And all my friends that I went to Lollapalooza with in 2012, I invited them and they came along and I listed them as crew and just kind of like got them in for free. And we played like first on the smallest stage, which apparently is like the Lady Gaga slot. Like that was, she's like iconic for like showing up in underwear and like playing this sick set on the tiny stage. But yeah, and then we all just like got a little drunk and danced to LCD Sound System. It was like the best night of my life, kind of. For my music, I'm pretty sure it was like in this grassy median in Richmond. I had a friend's band. They were called Lobo Marino. Now they're called Holy River. And they were just like, open for us. Like, we know you have songs. You should play a show. Like, they kind of bullied me into it. And yeah, around that time, I would play like multiple shows every week in Richmond, which was like kind of how it went. Like, people were okay with that and people would still show up. It's like just how you hung out was go play or listen to a show. Good times. The first song I finished writing was called Purple Breeze, and it was so angsty. It was like, your life's like an hourglass, silent but slipping away, is the first line of that song. Oh my god, I'm now remembering the whole thing and I'm not going to recite it because I don't want to embarrass myself further. But yeah, that's the one. It felt like not real. I remember I had friends that went to James Madison University, which is like 2 hours from Richmond, and they had like midnight radio shows and they'd play like whatever they wanted, and you could call in and like have a conversation on air and just basically be stupid together. So that was cool. The big like notable time was hearing Bob Boilen talk about I Don't Want to Be Funny Anymore on All Songs Considered, and that felt like a life-changing moment, and I think it was. Thank you, Uncle Bob. The first thing that I did after home video was released was throw a party. It was in that like gap of time when it felt like COVID was over. Like all of my friends were freshly vaccinated, and it was the first party that we had thrown in our house. And I told everybody to wear blue, and we made a drink called Mystery Blue Drink, which was like some like maybe gin and like blue Gatorade. The main ingredient was blue Gatorade, and we had like a crystal pitcher of this with like a ladle, and yeah, it was a interesting night.